In the early 1960s, the small coastal town awoke to the cries of seagulls and the rhythm of waves against the pier. Cobblestone streets carried the scent of fresh bread, and postmen pedaled bicycles with bags of letters slung over their shoulders. Life moved gently, yet for two hearts, destiny was waiting, folded in a single piece of paper. Elena Rivers, 24, chestnut hair cascading in waves, hazel eyes soft yet uncertain, sat by her bedroom window overlooking the sea. With pen trembling between her fingers, she whispered into the quiet, "If I cannot say it aloud, then let the ink carry my heart." She began writing to Michael Carter, pouring onto the page what years of silence had hidden. When her final sentence was written, Elena folded the letter carefully and sealed it with a trembling hand. She pressed it to her lips and whispered, "May these words find you before you leave." With hope lighting her face, she hurried down the street, her dress swaying in the sea breeze, and dropped the envelope into the red postbox. Meanwhile, at the train station, Michael Carter stood in his trench coat with a suitcase at his feet, his dark hair neatly parted, grey eyes wandering. He stared at the rails stretching endlessly and whispered, "Elena, if only I knew where your heart belongs." The whistle blew, and though his steps led him forward, his heart remained behind. But fate had other plans. At the post office, Elena's letter slipped unnoticed from the clerk's bundle and fell behind a wooden drawer. Dust gathered on its edges, time swallowed its presence, and what could have been a confession of love became a silent prisoner of chance. The town had changed little, but the faces had. Elena, now 34, her hair shorter but still softly wavy, ran a small bookstore filled with the scent of old paper and ink. Her days were quiet, filled with customers who came and went, yet at night she often sat by the window, staring at the sea, wondering what might have been. One rainy afternoon, the bookstore door chimed. Elena looked up and froze. Michael stood there, older but unchanged in essence, his grey eyes searching, his trench coat damp from the storm. She whispered, breathless, "Michael." His lips curved into a soft smile as he said, "Elena. After all these years." They sat at a small wooden table inside the shop, a teapot steaming between them. Silence stretched before Michael broke it with a sigh. "I waited for something, Elena. A word, a sign, anything to tell me you cared. But nothing ever came." Her eyes shimmered with tears. "Michael, I wrote to you. Every word I couldn't say was in that letter." His voice faltered as he leaned forward. "A letter. I never saw it." That night, Elena sat by her window again, the rain tapping against the glass just as it had the night she wrote her confession. She whispered to the empty room, "What if it's too late? What if the moment has already passed?" Her hands tightened around her chest as thunder roared, and the storm outside mirrored the storm within. The next morning, an elderly postman knocked on her door, holding a bundle of misplaced letters found during renovations. As he handed them over, he said kindly, "Since these were hiding for a long time." Her breath caught when her eyes fell upon one envelope, her own handwriting, still sealed, still carrying the weight of 10 years. Tears spilled as she clutched it to her heart. Elena brought the letter to Michael. In the quiet of the bookstore, his fingers trembled as he opened it. He read aloud, voice breaking, "My dearest Michael. I have loved you quietly, patiently, but every day without you feels like an unfinished story." His eyes lifted to hers, shimmering. "All this time, and I never knew." She whispered, "I thought it was lost forever." They stood in the center of the bookstore, silence falling heavier than words. Slowly, Michael stepped closer, his voice barely above a whisper, "Maybe it's not too late." Elena's tears turned into a trembling smile as he pulled her into his arms. Outside, the rain softened, the clouds parting to reveal a pale glow. In their embrace, years of silence melted, and love, delayed but not denied, finally spoke. Sometimes love waits, even when fate conspires to keep it hidden. And sometimes, even a letter that never arrived can still lead two hearts home.